expect that we're gonna finish all groups, so we will start with group 1 and group 2, and be sure to ask them some question even if you are not in that group regarding their presentation on each of the topic, especially it will be related to your topic as well, like first now you plan and then you implement and then you manage. So it's a very related process where you should really be aware and well understand of each topic. So make sure you ask them question, or I will let them choose some of you and ask you some question about that topic. Okay. And each group is accounted for 20 minutes of the presentation. And that is not include the question part, okay? So some of your friends will have some question for you. So be prepared for that. Any other question? Otherwise, we will start with group 1.
Teacher, for group 1, the member haven't joined all yet.
How many do you have right now?
Yes, teacher.
How many people? Min mana ai group A?
4 people.
Group 1. 4 nè.
4 copy, teacher.
Okay. អាចពលឺឲ្យគាត់ទេមកឆាតឲ្យគាត់ទេណា inbox personal គាត់ទេបើអត់ទេយើងនឹង presentation ដែលមានគាត់ហើយចាំឡូតឈ្មោះ
Ô thể hiện cả hai hiện lệnh tích cho phụ nhưng đây cái độc người thành lưới là phụ
ស្ដាប់អត់បានមកសម្បត្តិ
Teacher សម្បត្តិគាត់រវល់ជូនប្អូនទៅរៀនតិចទៀតបើគាត់ដល់ចឹង
presentation នេះ account 10% ណា make sure you did it right. I will wait for another 2-3 minutes and then we will start with group 1 and you handle your presentation. Plus, if you don't have class tomorrow on Saturday from 7 to 9, we will have a network de cours for 7 to 9, okay? Tomorrow. I will post it in our team channels. ចឹងថ្ងៃសៅរ៍7 9ណាយើងដាក់គួរ7 9វិញទៅដោយសារថ្ងៃច័ន្ទយើងអត់បានខ្ញុំរវល់ចឹងខ្ញុំសថ្ងៃស្អែកនេះ7 9ខ្ញុំផុសលោកធីម
Chờ đầu mong phân vốn group bí bác ngón TP software
ថ្ងៃស្អែកហ្នឹង
បាទ
ចឹងត3 5ណា
បាទchờបាទ
Okay, I will let you know later regarding the makeup class of the school, but it will be very soon, okay? Còn lấy nước khoang mà nè, Tết.
ម្នាក់ក៏គាត់កំពុងតែ join ហើយម្នាក់ទៀតសម្បត្តិហ្នឹងគាត់ចិត្តដល់កន្លែងគាត់ទៅសាលា
ខ្ញុំដល់សាលាលោកគ្រូធំពេលតែថ្នាក់បើកកុំព្យូទ័រតិចលោកគ្រូ
Okay, តោះ And you will share your own screen, right? Just share your own screen and you can manage your slide by yourself. I haven't asked a question. Also, are you in Cambodia or you are still in France?
No, I'm in Cambodia.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, it's a very complicated situation. It's it's not like you coming to international country and then you go to study and then you do it online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In France, we have had the same situation, but the past year, now there is less COVID in France. But,
yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah. So I have it is the second semester I do online, but we have to do.
Yeah. So is you in your fourth year as well in France?
Yeah, it's the eighth semester.
Okay.
So yes, the fourth year.
And another 2 semester coming, right?
Yeah, it's like I have just one semester because the last semester is just an internship.
Yeah, you will have an internship.
So yeah, just 1 year and he will be a graduate.
Good, yeah. 1 more year. But you will spend another semester here as well, or you will go back to France?
No. We just have the right to do one semester in an international country. But
Okay.
what I know for sure is that there is some student that wanted to go to Cambodia the next semester in IT in France. I think there is three students that wanted to go at the ITC the next semester.
Great.
Yes. 3 new students that will come, I think.
For the fifth year, for the
Yeah,
ninth
for
semester.
the first semester of the fifth year.
Okay. So the your junior.
The what? So
Yeah, your the junior of your generation.
yeah, it's the same year of me, but
Ah,
it's for the ninth semester.
semester. Okay, I see. Good to know. Okay, Sambat, you ready? Punlu, please start sharing your screen, or we can start with group one.
That ready, teacher.
Can you see my
Okay,
screen, teacher?
yes, very well.
Okay.
Just a reminder, everyone, please listen very carefully. You have any question, you let them know, and I suppose they will let you have some answer or what they already know and what they have been doing with the research. So make sure you ask them some question, and otherwise I will ask, let them know that maybe they can choose one or two of you to ask some question. Okay, just to catch up whether you pay a very good attention to the presentation. Okay, please go ahead.
Yes, first I would like to say good morning teacher and hello everyone. We are from group 1 and we going to presentation about the topic 1, how to planning network. In the process of planning network, we don't need to be rush the plan and need to write down the network plan and keep the plan up to date. And now let's move the table of content. That we are focused on the 6 main points. The first one is identify the objective, application of your network planning. Number 2, take inventory of your existing computer and network equipment. Number 3, topology consideration. Number 4, traffic requirement. Number 5, geographical consideration. And number 6, security and availability. And let's move to detail about point number 1. That talk about identify the objective application of your network planning. It's really important that before we planning, we need to identify our objective, that it is a simple one, just sharing a resource between one computer to another computer, or just one computer to the printer, or the complete one that apply to the company, big company, share a big resource between one department to another department with apply high security. And you need also consider this 4 questions that help us to identify the objective. The first one is, do any of your team member work remotely? It is refer to the employee in the company or organization that we are going to planning the network. Is it all the employee working remotely or they working in team? Question number 2 is, do your employee bring their own device to work? It means that like sometimes planning network is just applied to the device in the company, but when the employee bring their own device to company, they cannot access to the network. So as an engineer, we need to consider this point too. And question number 3 is, how much latency is allowed? It refers to the speed of the network that we provide to this network. And another question is, are you ready to build a business computer network? It means that if we have all the application or equipment that are ready to build the network. And another consideration is, next slide, please. Another consideration is the application that you will use in the network. There are a lot of kind of application that the companies will have, and different application have the quality of need the quality of the network differently. And I have read some application. The first one is enterprise resource management. It is kind of process or the application that company use to manage and integrate the important part of their business. Another one is internet telephony is kind of communication technology that allow voice call and another technology survive like fax, SMS and another voice messaging application to be transmit using the internet as the connection medium. Another one is instant messaging or IM. It is the application text-based communication in which two persons participate in a single conversation over their computer or mobile device within an internet-based chat room. Or another application is email or other application. All of the application can help us to consider the software, hardware, and traffic requirement that we will use in our network. And now let's move to point number 2.
For the second part, we talk about the take inventory of your existing computer and network equipment. In this part, we need to know about what we have in our inventory so we can work with it for the use the payment that we need to spend. And the specific one is the detail of the inventory that are processor type, the amount of memory, random access memory, I/O device, and that we can call type of partition, and also software that used by each device. For example, if the user is an engineer, the computer spec must be with big storage, speed must be fast to make the software system operating smoothly. And if we have small business, just need to work with normal software, so we need to consider the lowest spec for operating it. In other hand, if we got a big company, we need to think about the total of the device that we need to use without waste it, like computer, printer, projector, or scanner, etc. For the next point is the topology consideration.
Point number 3, topology consideration. Topology refers to the way that your device and your network are connected to each other with network switch. In this stage, you will need to determine about what kind of switch will you use, how many switch will you use, and where to run the cable in order to save the cost, the cable cost, and where to locate the switch. Moreover, you need to consider about how many client computer will you use in your network, and this is necessary for you if you want to start or set up a new network. You need to choose the network topology wisely in order to not cost to waste the resource or cost a lot of money. And there are some several type of network topology that I'm going to talk about. The first one is point to point. The second one, daisy chain. The third one, bus topology. The fourth one, star topology. The fifth, ring topology. Six, mix topology, hybrid topology, and tree topology. All these type of this topology, they have their own pros and cons, including the price, including the efficiency of upgrading the amount of client computer in the future, and the efficiency of implementation and easy to maintain when we miss the problem. In Moreover, it's related to scalability as well. If your company plan to upgrade in the future, like in 1 or 2 years later, you want to upgrade a client computer, you want to add more computer, or you want to divide your network into many departments in your building, you will need to consider, or you will need to choose about the topology that can flexible and easy to expand it, especially and if you're not choosing the right topology in the flexible topology will waste a lot of money of upgrading in the future. And if you make the right choice of choosing the network topology, it can help you a lot, such as reduce network operation and maintaining costs, increase network performance, ensure optimal network health by effective allocation of resource located, and troubleshoot error faster. And in this part is related to the cost as well. Um, the first part is length and the type of cable. you need to choose the type of cable wisely related to the flexible of the cable, related to the performance of the cable and the cost of the cable itself as well. And the next point is hardware. In this in certain type of network topology, the network performance overall bandwidth are limit the technical specification due to hardware as well. And the last one, like I mentioned before, scalability. You need to choose the flexible topology in order to make it easy to expand in the future. And the next point is traffic requirement.
This part talk about traffic requirement. What is traffic requirement? Traffic requirement is the amount of data which moves across a network during any given time. Network traffic may also be referred to as data traffic or just plain traffic. There are five configure in traffic requirement. Configure number one, identification and documentation of major traffic source. In this point, in noise planning is near to understand about the community and data store for existing and new application of the client. Configure number two, categorization of traffic as local, diffusing client, server, peer-to-peer, terminal hop, or server and server. For categorization of traffic as local, it relies to traffic classification. In traffic classification, we need to think about typical use. Client and server, we should think what is peer-to-peer and what is server they use. Configure number three, estimation of bandwidth requirement for us application. In this point, we should think on application that use and how many application they use. For easy to think how many site internet to use. Configure number four, uh, quality of device requirement for us application. For this point, we see how much site quality to fit this network planning. And last configure number five, reliability requirement. When we planning a network don't have finish, we should update forever. When is their company have new technology, we need up to site or specific on internet. For next part number five, geographical consideration.
The geographical consideration in network planning should be chosen follow this different type of geography. The structure can be broken down as follows. Inter-building. First, the structure provides connectivity for all end nodes that are located in the same building. The building access and building distribution layer are typically located in the same building. Wireless LAN can also be used to provide inter-building connectivity, enabling users to establish and maintain a wireless network connection. Second, inter-building. This provides connectivity between the central switches of the individual campus building. These buildings are usually in close proximity, only a few hundred kilometers apart to a few kilometers apart. The demand for high-speed connectivity between the buildings is high as noted in all campus buildings that usually share common devices. The last part is distant remote building. The most important factor to consider when connecting building at distance that exceed a few kilometers is the physical media. The speed and cost of the network infrastructure depend heavily on the media selection. For optimal use of bandwidth selection, the equipment that support intelligent network service like QoS and filtering capability. The risk of downtime and the service level agreement must also be considered. The last part is security and availability.
Yes, right now on my turn that talk about security and availability. The first one is security. Network security is a critical aspect or network planning, network connection must surely allow legitimate traffic through the door while keeping illegitimate traffic out, and followed by all these points to make network security. The first point is to create a firewall security policy to filter traffic in and out of the network. The firewall should restrict the data according to the protocol that it uses and terminates traffic if the protocol does not match the port that is used to travel through. And firewall should also strictly limit open the port to the prevent intruder or hacker from entering the corporate networks. And move to the next point is the isolate confidential information. Uh, any system that have confidential or sensitive information should not be directly accessible from the outside. Access to this type of system should be restricted from the inside. Only authenticated users should gain access. And right now, move to the next point is to create a demilitarized terrorist zone or DMZ. DMZ is a area that it is outside of the firewall where transaction can take place without putting a network in jeopardy. All anonymous access to the network should remain in DMZ. Like example, a web server that hold public information. And right now, move to the next point is the develop an authentication scam. Authentication scam is the process of requiring a user ID and password, and plan to follow a user ID and password best practice, which include a long password to make a strong password, the at least 8 character maximum password, a combination a letter, number, capital or lower symbol also, and regularly change the password every 2 or 3 months. And move to the next point is the develop an encryption system. Encryption system is the process of turning all data into the code that is only inscrutable by system of private and public key. All sensitive data exit the corporate network should be encrypted. All sensitive data arrive from the remote office into the network should also be encrypted. And right now, move to the next point is the develop social engineering or blocking system. And social engineering is the process of the impersonating trust individual or over the phone to the gender sensitive information such as a password and corporate organizational information. And right now, move to the next plan is network availability. Network availability is the easier and the more economical way to improve network availability is to remove single point of failure. And on this plan has two plan also. The first plan is plan for the fault tolerance. Fault tolerant network has a few single point to of failure. If in addition, fault tolerant network have industrial recovery hardware at each node. And move to the second plan is for the clustering. Clustering is the process of connecting a large number of servers to achieve continue or 100% time up. Many families of server enable clustering and several software packages. And the challenge is to maintain time up during routing, maintenance, or while upgrading system within a cluster. Yes, right now that's all for my presentation. Thank you, teacher, and thank you everyone for paying attention to my team. Yes, do you have any question?
Okay, good job, group one. It's a good presentation. Okay, anyone having any questions regarding planning the network? Any step they miss? Any step you think maybe we should do in planning as well? Or you have any question you want them to clarify regarding their point? Please. Clear means no, eh? Maybe you can have some question regarding their point. Why do they need to have the internet telephony internal installed in their service, in their network? Why do they need instant messages? Because we have Telegram, we have a Messenger, we have a lot of applications that we can use already. Why do we need one in your network? Why do we need to consider about distant remote working? Clear? With some noise, yeah. Okay, my small question, why do we need an internet telephony in your network? And why do we need an instant messages in your network?
Yes, teacher. For all of these application is just for the company. Do they need to use or not? I just read some example of the application that will use in company, so that the engineer network engineer can consider the hardware or software or network requirement that will use in planning network. Yes. That's all.
Okay. Actually, there is a reason behind it. Currently, most of the enterprise company in Cambodia, usually they always use in Telegram, they always use different application, which is not located in Cambodia, which is not in their network, meaning the traffic when you do those things, when you do when you chat, when you share any document, it will go through internet, and this will increase the bandwidth used for your traffic going out of your network. So it is very something to consider, and mostly we don't consider that because we have like our internet is so fast, everyone will just use the internet. But you have to be aware of this when you have a bigger company, your internet bandwidth outside your network will be piled up, and you have a, ve- a very busy traffic in your network. That's why the internal internet telephony or instant messages really should be considered if you are in engineering a uh, or big size enterprise, because with your local or internal instant messages and internet telephony application, you will reduce the amount of traffic going out of your network to the internet and just coming back for nothing, because it should be in local. You call, you chat in your local network. Why should it go to the internet, right? So it is really something to consider that not many engineer when starting and building the new network for the enterprise not thinking about. Uh, I think in Europe, every in every enterprise they usually use their own all their own application. Even email, they have their own internal email application that they use. They usually have their own instant messages install on their premise, install on their server themselves, so that the traffic is not going to the internet, right? They're just running in your local network, and this will reduce and help a lot in terms of bandwidth you need to access the internet with your network. So this is the actual reason why um, we usually miss because we don't think of the how much traffic it takes in terms of using this kind of application, globally, like Telegram, WhatsApp, whatever that you use in your team. It is really something considered. I think Arthur can speak of your personal experience. I think you have your own instant messages. Maybe you have your own email at school, right? But not Gmail that we use.
No, I have it's called Insa Ren dot Insa Ren at Insa Ren.
Okay. And you have your own email, or you have, or the email is provided by your school?
I have an email provided by my school, and I have another
Yeah.
email. It's an internet operator of France. It's called Free.
Okay. Yep, that's good. So you have another email from Free.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is really something to consider, and especially if you take talking about this experience where you have another email from Free, meaning you have an instant message application for local, for I mean here locally, I mean refer to France, right? So you see the instant message, you don't have to go out of France. It just going through the network in France itself. That is really something a network engineer really have to think about to reduce the traffic amount of traffic going out and into your network. Not just and not just enterprise level. It's also via every network in your company as well. That's why ISP have a lot of traffic coming into Cambodia, because that is mostly what we are not aware of here in Cambodia. But I think some of the companies starting to work on it as well. Mostly big enterprise, they usually have this application installed on premise, meaning they have their services on their server locally instead of just using the application, where the server is located in Hong Kong, in Singapore, and all that. Thì toàn ấy, ចឹងប្រភេទinstant message ប្រភេទ telephone internet ណា ព្រោះហ្នឹងជាទូទៅខ្មែរយើងវាយើងអត់សូវប្រើទេពីចឹងយើងប្រើរបស់មានស្រាប់ប៉ុន្តែយើងភ្លេចគិតថាពួកហ្នឹង server របស់វាគឺនៅ outside internet តែ outside network របស់យើងអញ្ចឹងធ្វើឲ្យ traffic របស់យើងគឺគាំងនៅអាប្រឡោះចេញហ្នឹងហ្មងនៅ gateway យើង access internet ច្រើនហើយយើងប្រើ instant message ផ្សេងនៅលើហ្នឹងទៀតគឺវា very busy traffic នៅពេលដែលវាចេញពី gateway របស់យើងដោយសារម្នាក់ខ្ញុំប្រើអាហ្នឹងបងប្អូនមិនចឹងណាអញ្ចឹងយើងមិនតែច្រកចេញយើងទៅ internet ហ្នឹងវាមានតែមួយណាអញ្ចឹង message traffic របស់យើងត្រូវបញ្ជាគ្នាចេញអញ្ចឹងកន្លែងហ្នឹងឯងដែលជាទូទៅជាបញ្ហាដែលយើងអត់បានគិតអញ្ចឹងជាធម្មតាថា medium size ក៏គេគួរតែមានដែរព្រោះហ្នឹងយើងអាច reduce traffic bandwidth ដែលយើង require សម្រាប់ network របស់យើងណាចឹង locally យើងឆាត message run នៅក្នុង local network មានតែណាផងអញ្ចឹងដោយសារយើង connect គ្នានៅក្នុង network local ស្រាប់ចឹងវាអត់មានតែ go through gateway ទេណារបស់យើងផ្ញើទៅណាគេមួយនៅក្នុង network របស់យើងវាគ្រាន់តែ flow នៅក្នុងខ្សែ network របស់យើងឬក៏នៅក្នុង wireless network របស់យើងណាចឹងហេតុផលហ្នឹងឯងជារឿងដែលយើងត្រូវ consider ទៅលើប្រភេទ application អស់ហ្នឹងតោះមានសំណួរអីទៀតទេសម្រាប់ planning any other question បើមានទេគ្នាយើងមើលណាគេម្នាក់អាចហៅគ្នាយើងម្នាក់មកសួរមកសំណួរមក Cầm hến này tu cầm hến.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I have a question for you. Or when group 1 is talking about the intra building, inter building, distant building, what do they mean? Người chăm á, khi cái presentation mình kia vậy bị intra, inter, distant building, nó kia vậy bị kia này.
Sorry, sir. Jawab tuan.
Okay. Chẳng bật môi bật hả? Tâm châu mình. Bất kỳ dân nóឆ្លើយបាននិយាយពីគេហ្នឹង Okay, can anyone explain me what they mean when they talk about the intra building, inter building, and distant remote building? Recap me what they have said about this part. Chắc cái đó. Siêu cả cái đó.
Bát chơi nhom nào nè ta chơi.
Okay. Please.
Chơi cái lại nên nhom ở sâu vô lại chơi.
Xây cho hãy đập ai số anh nên dần lùa để mà chẳng. Hiện số.
Bát chơi.
Còn số ở đấy để có ngoài slide này. Rồi số ấy số cua tại bàn trong này giếng cái chương trình đó nhé. Và thay riêng slide này nó ai cho bà bộ cái kêu bà hiện ở trẻ ấy. Trên cũng khai thì đừng xua bà khai thì hiện slide vậy. Đạp sáng. Nó là cái slide bán. Slide cả ra ấy bán đọc không? Bottom mấy. So here bottom mấy.
Nhưng có cho đây là
Nó là cái gì bà? Pan nét. Là cái mình, là cái sự ý.
Không sao. Mới chuẩn bị đến nhà đến cáiក្នុងការរៀបចំត shop network គេត្រូវគិតទៅលើ structure នៃថាទីតាំងឬក៏កន្លែងនឹងវារៀងបែបណាដើម្បីក្នុងការត network
ដោយសើត្រូវវាជា
គេគិតទៅលើទីតាំងbuilding ហ្នឹងគឺគិតទៅលើទំហំឬក៏ប្រវែងនៃ structure នៃទាំងអស់ហ្នឹងហើយគេនឹងវាតាម model.
Okay. That's from my chat presentation. Nó thẳng từ lại mình tịch nữa. Còn đấy vậy? Này là cái responsible part này.
Mình ý chứ.
Ban cũ con vậy chạy rồi.
Vậy thấy à? Chẳng intra building, inter building, and distant remote building. Cái này cứ nhớ thấy consider từ lơ geographical consideration lại ní mà sẵn đây từ lơ hiện ở kia này. Còn mình tầm rung ở kia này nè. Chẳng cái này cứ nhớ sẵn đây từ lơ បើសិនជាយើងជាប្រភេទ inter building បានន័យថាតា network របស់យើងត្រូវរត់ backbone តាម level ណាអញ្ចឹងព្រោះ computer បើសិនជា device របស់យើងនៅតែក្នុងមួយ network នៅក្នុងតែមួយ building អញ្ចឹងអានេះយើងគិត consider នៅក្នុងមួយ building ហ្នឹងយើងមក LAN ដែរណាតើ network connection នៅក្នុង intra building ហ្នឹងវាបែបម៉េចអញ្ចឹងបើសិនជាយើងគិត level អានេះ ដូច LAN អញ្ចឹងណា consider LAN និង LAN តែដល់ពេល inter building គឺយើង consider បានន័យថាយើងមាន LAN នៅ building មួយទៀតហើយយើងមាន LAN នៅ building មួយទៀតតើយើងធ្វើម៉េចឲ្យ inter building connect គ្នាបានណាអានេះ LAN និង LAN នៅលើ level building អញ្ចឹងអានេះវាជា part មួយនៃ network topology ទេតែព្រោះនេះវាជា consideration នៅលើថា device យើងមាននៅណាខ្លះហើយយើងនឹង inter បានហើយយើង connect វាបែបម៉េចនេះជា part មួយនៃ network topology អញ្ចឹង intra building យើង consider តើ device ឬក៏ node នៅក្នុង network របស់យើងនៅក្នុង building តែមួយណា building តែមួយតើវា connect គ្នាបែបម៉េចណាហ្នឹង topology សម្រាប់ local network យើងមួយហើយបើយើងមានអាគារមួយទៀតយើងមាន device យើងមាន map បានជា part enterprise របស់យើងគឺនៅនោះអញ្ចឹងយើងមាន topology ណា local network node របស់យើងនៅលើ device មួយទៀតហ្នឹងហើយ inter building គឺយើងគិតទៅលើ topology ដែល connect រវាងbuilding ពីរ network ពីរហ្នឹងបញ្ចូលគ្នាព្រោះអាពីរហ្នឹងនៅក្នុង network តែមួយតារបស់យើងដែរមិនអញ្ចឹងអាហ្នឹងគឺ inter building connection នៅលើបានឲ្យយើង consider នៅក្នុងប្រភេទ concept geographical ណាតែអានេះគឺ LAN និង LAN តើវាជាប់គ្នាយើងប្រើ topology គេយើង connection ហ្នឹងយើងដាក់មិនត្រូវមានម៉ានខ្សែtraffic ហ្នឹងត្រូវរត់ទៅមកច្រើនអត់ហ្នឹងយើងត្រូវ consider different cable ត្រូវដាក់មិនអីចឹងទៅណាហ្នឹង inter building ហើយ distant remote building ជាទូទៅគឺយើង consider ទៅលើការប្រើប្រាស់ VPN ហ្នឹងហើយណា distant remote building បានន័យថាយើងមានenterprise you have one branch of your network here in Phnom Penh and then you have another network of your company in Kampong Cham or in the other province so it's not possible for you to buy fiber optic cable just to connect the network from your branch to your main office right so that is not what we usually use because you will spend more money on the in terms of financial, you will spend a lot more for the cable and the installation process, whereas you just use a VPN software. This way, you will have a lot more traffic, but you have just a better network connection. It will be good enough for your network rather than just running a fiber optic cable to one of your very far away branch or network place, right? And one more thing to consider is that when usually this thing happen, for example, you see here, you know that in banking in Cambodia, you have a lot of branch, right? In Phnom Penh, then you have a network, you have a building in Kampong Cham, in Siem Reap, in Kampong Sam. Different part of branch of bank is located in different places, right? So what do they do to access the network in their main office, right? This is a distant remote building where something usually we use a VPN. And normally we don't just we don't just send message irregularly. They're normally a time and day that is usually scheduled with the main office and the branch where the data will be sent. Normally the data will be stored in the local network in the province for 1 or 2 days, and each night the traffic will run through the VPN and transmitted to the data center or the data warehouse in the main office, right? So this is also something you need to be aware of. So even though you use VPN, you don't just irregularly sending out traffic that you are not aware of. So, and this is also something a network engineer have to think as well. And usually this kind of network, especially for banking, for meaning the branch company structure where you have a main office somewhere and then you have a different branch of the office in all over the place. I mean, different way, different province and all that. This is really something a network engineer should be aware of. And usually there is one person who is instantly working on that, improving, monitoring traffic coming into the network through that VPN port, because this is something usually very insensitive for the network in the traffic. ពេលតោះណាចឹង intra building inter building ហើយ distance remote building នេះគឺយើងសំដៅទៅលើ network ណា intra គឺ interconnected node នៅក្នុង building តែមួយតែបើយើងមាន building ពីរនៅជាប់គ្នាអីដែលយើងត្រូវគិតគឺ interconnected រវាង building ពីរហ្នឹងតើស្អីគេតើយើងប្រើអីគេណាហើយទី3ហ្នឹងគឺ distance remote building ដូចខ្ញុំនិយាយវិញយើងមានសាខាមួយនៅ main office នៅពេញយើងមាន office ច្រើនទៀតសាខានៅតាមខេត្តអីចឹងទៅតែអាហ្នឹងយើងត្រូវ connect មកហើយជាធម្មតាហ្នឹងគឺយើងប្រើ VPN ហើយគេមាន monitor ហើយជាទូទៅ traffic ហ្នឹងក៏គេបញ្ជាក់ថាប្រើដែរចឹងគ្រប់ data ព័ត៌មានអីជួនកាលគេប្រើនៅ local office គេនៅ LAN គេតែមួយឯងព្រោះកុំឲ្យ traffic នេះវាចេញចូលច្រើនចឹងកាលណា traffic កាន់តែច្រើន risk នៃ traffic is being monitored by គេហ្នឹងគឺកាន់តែច្រើនដែរណាចឹងបានយើង reduce traffic going out of your network ឲ្យបានច្រើនបំផុតចឹងបើ network នៅក្នុង local គាត់ប្រើ local ហ្នឹងទៅណាគាត់ data មកបើចាំត្រូវទៅ main office ភ្លាមគេមាន storage supplement storage នៅក្នុង LAN របស់គេនៅក្នុង branch របស់គេទូចៗចឹងទៅហើយដល់ពេលយប់ឡើងជួនកាល3យប់អីចឹងទៅបាន data នេះគេណាត់គ្នាគេ schedule ឲ្យវា transfer ម្ដងគេ transmit data ម្ដងចឹងទៅហើយគេ clear ដាក់របស់គេចោល3ថ្ងៃក្រោយគេធ្វើម្ដងទៀត3ថ្ងៃក្រោយគេធ្វើម្ដងទៀតណានេះជា procedure មួយចំនួនដែល banking សខ្មែរក៏ដូចជាប្រភេទ branch company ណាដែលមានទិន្នន័យច្រើនហ្នឹងគឺគេធ្វើអញ្ចឹងតើនៅបរមី
តួនេះលោកគ្រូតួនេះ
ផានែតអីអត់មានសំណួរអីណាតោះនោះហ่า pay attention ទៅតែនេះគឺតែជារឿងដែលយើងត្រូវដឹង Okay, let's move on to the next team, group 2. So group 2 they will present about how to implement the network. Please go ahead.
Should start now, sir.
Bye.
Hello, teacher, and hello, everyone. We are from Group 2, and today we're gonna present about how to implement a network. And there are 6 members in our group. Next, there are 5 points that we're gonna talk about today, which are introduction, installing network hardware, setup switch, patch panel, and cable management. And the first one is introduction. And to implement a network, firstly, we have to plan a network and then put everything together, like installing hardware and cable management.
Second, we talk about the install network hardware. Like, in this case, if we would like to install a network, first thing you need to do is decide which sort of network you want to use. There are three main basic networks like wire, Wi-Fi, and hybrid. As I mentioned above, wire use a physical connection to access the internet, which have some advantage like faster, more secure, but is expensive. For wireless or Wi-Fi are similar. We use them to connect to the internet on the mobile device, and many of us use at home. For disadvantage, like slower, less secure, but it's not expensive. And the last one we talk about the hybrid. Hybrid is a network combine the best of both wire and Wi-Fi system using element of each. And the advantage is more flexibility. Like is the element you must need to set up like switch, router, and modem. Switch is the data layer which has the destination MAC address of everything packet is received and forward only to the port. Packet aren't repeat on the port that doesn't contain the packet destination. For router is a layer 3 device, which means it works at the network layer of the OSI reference model. Know about the IP address, tell the way of destination what should go and know the port. And the last one, model. Model is a device that enables the computer to send or receive data over telephone or capable. But we talk in this case we talk about the switch. Network switch for home and small office you are typically stand-alone unit, while switch for a larger network are usually rack mounted either way and typically use either Cat5 or Cat6 internet cable. Here's the picture that we need to connect.
So the third point is about patch panels. We consider about the patch panel is that we have to think about this. What is patch panel? The patch panel is just an array of many ports that we use to connect to our network, like from the outside network. We use this for a larger or medium-sized enterprise network or in a big company. For like a small or home network, we doesn't require to use this type of device. So just only use for the larger network to easy manage that port. And why we use patch panel? The first one is it's easy for cable management and identification. So it's easy to keep our system tidy and more organized. So it doesn't mess around like there's a lot of cables for a large network to manage. And the second point is that it is easy, so it's more convenient to reconfigure and troubleshoot. For this part is that like when we need to change something, we don't disturb the switch, and also inside the switch on the patch panel, sorry, on the patch panel, we also have some label like 1, 2, 3 like that. So it is easily to find out which port and that we connected. And so we could be replaced or tested without disturb to the switch or server. It's like the middleman between the switch and the outside network.
So move to the next point, talking about cable management. We know that today high-density server and networking application demand several kinds of infrastructure that can mount a much of different equipment and support high capacity. So cable management is essential to install a organized cable and network equipment to manage the messy cable and wire. And an effective cable management system enables the cable operator and network administrator to manage things in the right way. So in this point, we gonna show you about the 9 cable the type of cable management and such as cable tie. So cable tie are also known as zip tie, wrap, and wire tie, which is designed to secure wire bundle and harness component quickly. And it has various color and option for cable tie, such as nylon cable tie, menthol cable tie, color cable tie, ID marker cable tie, eyelet cable tie, releasable cable tie, non-releasable cable tie, bit cable tie, leather style cable tie, and tear-off cable tie. So that's kind of cable tie we use in different purpose. So up to the organizer choose which kind of that they gonna use. And move to the next point is about cable lacing bar. Next slide, please. Hello. Yeah. Cable lacing bar, also called horizontal cable lacing bar, and or strand relay bar. You see in the picture. And anyway, there's a lot of type of cable lacing bars, such as round lacing bars, round laser bars, round laser bar with offset, square laser bar, and L-shaped laser bar, 9-degree bit laser bar, and horizontal laser panel. So in this kind of cable lacing bar also have different kind that user or that user can choose in different purpose, like which one they gonna use. And the next point is wire loom. Wire loom is also called a corrugated top bowl, split loop, and wire condyle, and convoluted loop. Yeah, it have many names to call, like right topping and flexible topping, and it also have different kind of wire loop for us to choose, such as color wire loop, strom wire loop, nylon split wire loop, flame retardant, sorry, pregnant split wire loop. And next one, please. Hello, Sophia. This point is about rest. Rest is used
to have networking related to equipment like router, network cable, switch, pipe panel, and other accessory. Or you see in the picture, we can call it a name of some equipment, and it has different kind, such as open frame, rack, enclosure, and wall mount racks.
So now moving on to the server cabinet. Server cabinet is an enclosure with a built-in rack for holding and organizing page panel, switch, router, server, and any other networking equipment within a wiring closet. There are a lot of types of server cabinets, which are useful in different ways to solve a specific problem. So for example, collocation server cabinet used for providing secure and self-contained compartment for multiple users when they share a single cabinet, so they do not have to worry about tampering by accidental or incidental. Another one is air-conditioned server cabinet. This cabinet keeps sensitive electronics cool and safe in any environment using internal or external air conditioners, which can prevent the electronic equipment vulnerable to overheating. The last one is quiet and soundproof server cabinet. The cabinet helps to reduce the sound come from noisy equipment and prevent dangerous. They use acoustic foam or noise reducing design system to bring the draw down to whisper and dissipate excessive heat produced by server. This drive or controller by up to 7.2 kilowatt. Next slide. For the second cable management that is also popular is D-ring. The vertical cable management D-ring shall be a one-piece design. The front arm of the product shall be able to rotate 90 degrees to allow the entire cable bundle to be inserted and installed with two screws less than 0.25 diameter. This cable management provides a cost-effective solution which allows you to neatly and effectively organize and route cable bundle along rack and wall. Next slide. Moving on to the last cable manager is a cable label. Cable label can keep wire, network, voice, and data lines organized and running effectively that help quickly to identify the right line during troubleshooting or harsh environments. And it also helps to mark the data line for upcoming install and repair. So in conclusions, in high capacity network cable management and protection are essential. Choosing the right cable management system to route and protect cable is a critical first step in ensuring long-term network performance. The above mentioned are several common methods of cable management and improve the current cable management situations. Next slide. Now we come to the end of our group presentations. Thank you for your patience and participation. If you have any question, you can ask.
Okay, Uncle Chan, thank you too for your presentation regarding the implementation of a network, how to implement a network. So any question, please, from our team? តោះគ្នាយើងណាមានសំណួរអីទៅលើ presentation របស់គាត់ទៅលើការបញ្យល់របស់គាត់យើងអត់សាប់តនេះអាចសួរគាត់ present មកទៀតបានក្រុមមួយប្រហែលជាអាចមានសំណួរអីអាចសួរបានព្រោះវា relate ជាមួយនឹងរបស់យើងដែលយើង plan ហើយស្រាប់តែមកមើលគេធ្វើអីគេខ្លះតែមានអីឆ្ងល់ទេណា ឆ្ងល់ហើយតើគេឲ្យឆ្ងល់ Also, you have a question for the team?
Not really.
Anyone else? យើងមានសំណួរណាដល់ពេលសួរទៅកុំថាអត់ច្បាស់ទៀត Okay, so I just want to add that some more content to your presentation. So here you mostly talking about setting up the network, the installation of the device and the cable management, how you manage the cable, right? So in implementation of a network, it's really ranging from installing the software, installing the operating system to installing the network, applying protocol, applying all the planning that has been accessed, that on switch, on router, what are the information that you need to configure to all the level to WAN, right? Normally, when implementation, they usually have a very specific way on how you implement, right? You don't just go around, okay, first I install the server and then I go to install the cable from the server to the switch, and then I go to install the operating system for the node of my stuff, and then go and do something else, right? And then install the instant messages software or install different application on the network, right? You don't just running around and do that. So there is a specific way on how you approach in terms of implementing what you already have planned, right? This is what implementing is about when you already have a network in mind, how many computer you have already know there are 20 computer node in your network, and each of the node need this operating system, each of this node need this application, and our network, we will need instant messaging, we will need the telephony thing. All of this is after the plan. When you come to implementation, that's where you start. Normally, we start with the normal node, or we can say the computer node, the device. Maybe you have printer, you have scanner, you have everything, laptop, computer device, and all that setting up ready. This is the first step. Make sure everything is set up on the end of each node, right? And then you start setting up the network device. You have server, you have router, you have switch, all the information you start setting up. Maybe you need to apply, maybe you apply some security protocol on the router, you apply some security protocol on switch, you apply some firewalls, you apply some software or application on the file server, on the database, on your web server, on different services that you host in your network. And after all that done, we start consider about cable management. That is where the network is connected, right? That because you already planned, meaning you already know how many cable you need from each computer Do you need a wireless access point? Do you need a cable from your switch to your wireless access point and all that? So these are the steps that you do when you are implementing a network, right? But thank you very much for introducing to different type of cable management, different tool that you use in terms of managing your cable and all that. Can you say on it? So implementing network nó vì viên step bảo vệ nha, dương mình coi dương mình sẽ tự implement này, và thằng cái plan hỏi ạ, cái mình cùng tự đọc đượcក្នុង network ថ្មីនេះគេខាងcùng tự đọcនេះគេថាដាក់ software ប៉ុណ្នេះតបចឹងអាហ្នឹងជាទូទៅគឺយើង install end node ប្រភេទពួកហ្នឹងមុនណាចឹងជា network engineer នេះគឺយើងធ្វើទាំងអស់ហ្នឹងឯងណាយើងត្រូវដាក់ OS គេយើងត្រូវហើយ application ដែលយើងត្រូវ install ឲ្យគេ instant messaging ផ្សេងដែលយើងត្រូវដាក់អីហ្នឹងប្រភេទ application សម្រាប់ end user សិនតមកយើងទៅមើលទៅលើប្រភេទ end node ផ្សេងទៀតដូចជាប្រភេទ server និងប្រភេទ network node ណាចឹងមក server មកថាយើងមាន file transfer server យើងមាន database server យើងមាន web server យើងមានអីគេទៀតយើងមាន web server ផ្សេងទៀតសម្រាប់ local traffic អីយ៉ាងទៅចឹងគឺ DNS ឬក៏ DHCP server ផ្សេងចឹងគឺយើងចាប់ផ្ដើមធ្វើហ្នឹងតមកយើងមើលទៅលើ network node របស់យើងមាន switch មាន router មាន firewall អីផ្សេងហ្នឹងគេថាមានត្រូវ implement អីគេខ្លះដាក់ OM មានដាក់ protocol apply អីដែលយើងបាន plan នៅក្នុង network planning ហ្នឹងណាពេលពួកហ្នឹងហើយបើយើងចាប់ផ្ដើម run cable management ហ្នឹងគឺដូចយើងនិយាយចឹងវាមាន management វាមាន rule ក៏ដូចជារបស់មួយចំនួនដែលយើងអាចមើលបានរបៀបក្នុងការធ្វើ cable management ណាពីតែធម្មតាក៏យើង run ពី end node មួយមកកាន់ switch ចឹង switch ឬក៏ស្អីគេដែលជា backbone ហ្នឹងដើរតួជា middleman សម្រាប់ connect ជាងណាចឹងបើសិនយើងមាន wireless access point access ទៅដល់មួយ switch node មួយភ្ជាប់មួយ switch ហើយ server ដល់មួយ switch ហើយ switch កាន់តែ router ឬក៏មានពីរខ្សែ switch មាន switch ច្រើន switch មានទៀតទៅកាន់តែ router ដែរចឹងបើយើងដោតខ្សែតាម point ចឹង cable គឺជាទូទៅគឺជា last part ដែលនៅក្នុង implementation គាត់ថាពេលខ្លះពេលនៅពេលដែល run អាហ្នឹងហើយអស់ the last step មួយទៀតដែលនៅពេលដែល run cable ដើរ network យើងដើរអស់ហើយគឺប្រភេទ message ថា internal application ណាដែលយើងត្រូវ install ដូចជា instant messaging ហើយនិង internet telephony អីប្រភេទ technology អស់ហ្នឹងវាត្រូវការ server handle ចឹងតើដោតខ្សែ network ហើយអស់ស្គាល់អស់គ្នាហើយបើយើងចាប់ដើម install ប្រភេទ server អស់ហ្នឹងគេហៅថាប្រភេទ distributed local application ហ្នឹងណាចាហ្នឹងបានជាផ្នែកមួយនៃជាផ្នែកមួយដែលយើងត្រូវធ្វើនៅក្នុង implementation អូខេគ្នាយើងមានសំណួរអីតើតើ implementation Sophia
teacher, given what we have done, it's like, is it okay? Like when we consider about a smaller network, we don't need to use like for the cable management technique like that. And for medium or large company enterprise network, we have to use like cable management.
Yeah, that's correct actually because in a small or medium size enterprise, meaning about 10 to 200 people in that size, normally we don't have much cable running around, especially for a normal network enterprise. Meaning here, I mean the they don't have any server, they just want to connect to internet and they just want to access to each other. This kind of small and medium-sized network, usually there isn't much doing. Usually they just set up a wireless access point and then they use the Wi-Fi technology for their internet access. That is a very easy way on how this enterprise starting to do, because it's also the best way as well, because they are not supposed to spend much on this network and criteria and all that. But when it comes to banking, when it comes to telecom company, when it comes to IT solution company, some big IT solution company, some technology provider, some ISP, internet service provider company. This kind of network is usually very complicated. They have a lot of server in-house. They have a lot of service installed on premise. They have a big network, right? So this is cable management is also crucial for them, so that they know which cable is down, do we need to replace that cable, so they know specifically when they troubleshoot. Actually, cable management is part of where you make it easy for troubleshooting the problem. It's not just a one-time installment and then everything is good, right? Usually there is always an update, there is always an issue, there is always an error where things have to be redesigned and reconsider, changing and choosing new technology and improvement on the network. That is cable management is really matter in terms of the implementation of the network. But yeah, like you said, in a small to medium-sized network and small to medium-sized enterprise that not working with a very complicated network like that, usually you just need maybe a normal switch and a wireless access point and a router. That's it. That's enough for the team. But when it comes to this bigger and this kind of giant company like telecom, banking, and ISP and all that, that is really a lot of thing to consider in terms of implementing the network, especially regarding the cable management, because it will have you troubleshoot and you can validate and access to the problem in an easy and better way. Easy and better way, yep, of knowing where is the issue in the network. ចឹងម្ដងទៀតហ្នឹងឯងជាធម្មតានៅសម្រាប់ small company 10ទៅ2200 device អីជាទូទៅព្រោះពេលប៉ុណ្ណឹងមួយ network គ្រាន់ទេព្រោះមួយ network វា254 IP ចឹងយើងដាក់មក local network ទៅគ្រាន់ទេប៉ុណ្ណឹងគ្រាន់តែពេលខ្លះអាចប្រើ switch ថែមទៅឬក៏ប្រើ wireless sub wireless sub វាអាចឲ្យយើង line traffic ដែរព្រោះ200ជាងចឹងហ្នឹងសម្រាប់ small ប៉ុន្តែបើដូចជាក្រុមហ៊ុន telecom ក្រុមហ៊ុនទូរគមនាគមន៍ដូច Smart ដូច Medphone ដូច Cellcard ហើយដូចជាប្រភេទក្រុមហ៊ុនដូច banking IT solution technology provider ISP ភេទពួកហ្នឹងគឺ network ពួកគេគឺអញ្ញៃណាព្រោះវាមានច្រើនដំណាក់កាលណាវាមាន backbone network វាមានមក level server វាមក level router ហើយក៏ server ចង់ច្រើនស្មើម៉ាស៊ីន node ធម្មតាបាទហើយណាគាត់មានខាច់ server សម្រាប់ YouTube ខាច់ server សម្រាប់ Facebook គាត់មានអីគេ DNS server ប្រភេទពួកគាត់DNS អីធំព្រោះដោយសារតែគាត់មិន provide សម្រាប់ DNS សម្រាប់តែយើងមួយណា DNS សម្រាប់អ្នកដែលទិញ internet service ពីគាត់ទាំងអស់ហើយតែប្រភេទ server មាន DHCP server ផ្សេងទៀតព្រោះ traffic គាត់ provide ធំជាងតែជាងគឺវាមានរឿងច្រើនសម្រាប់ក្រុមហ៊ុនពួកហ្នឹងនៅក្នុងពេលដែល implementation ហើយយូរទៅដល់មាន error ហើយនៅពេលដែល implement ណាចឹងអាហ្នឹងក៏ពិតនៅក្នុង implementation ក៏មានផ្នែកមួយដែលគេហៅថា recovery ណា ពេលយើងធ្វើ implementation ហើយមានកន្លែងណា error យើងធ្វើ recovery យើងទៅមើលយើងទៅ issue យើងទៅ locate បញ្ហាហ្នឹងនៅកន្លែងណាហើយយើង recover តើ plan យើងធ្វើមិនហើយដែលមានបញ្ហាពេលយើង implement តែមកយើង recover ត្រូវធ្វើមិនវិញត្រូវដូរខ្សែត្រូវដូរ protocol ខុស network ខុស service ឲ្យបានបើក port ណាគឺវាមានបញ្ហាច្រើនក្នុងប្រភេទពួក network សុភាពប៉ុណ្ណឹងខ្ញុំនិយាយប៉ុណ្ណឹងមានអាចនេះខ្លះហ៎
Yes, teacher.
Okay, good. គ្នាយើងផ្សេងពេលយើងក្នុង team implementation វិញចូលបានច្រើនវិញណា Okay, so I think we just have we have done 2 groups today, and thank you for the presentation from group 1 and group 2. And we will next week we will do the presentation from group 3 and group 4. So please be well prepared. Make sure on your slide, each of your slide, please put a page number so that or slide number so that our member can see and directly like what are the information they miss on which page and all that. So please make sure you have a slide number on your presentation. And maybe find a better way of to initiate the presentation and explaining what you have in-house regarding your presentation and the topic, right? So next week we will have group 3 presenting about how to manage a network. I think it is a quite a long topic. So for that and another topic from group 4 will be about how you apply security in a network. Okay, if you don't have any question, we can finish the class for today. And I will let you know if we have any makeup class this Saturday. Any question? Okay, you can leave. Thank you.
Goodbye, teacher. Thank you.
Goodbye, teacher.
But goodbye.